Hello and welcome to the next part of our course on React Native. Even if you employ the most sophisticated programming, logic, and technology available, your application will be useless if the user interface (UI) is poor. The user interface is what draws the customer to an app. So the easier it is to understand and manipulate, the more attractive it will be for a client. Users will choose to use an app if they have a positive opinion of the user interface and if their experience is comfortable. The user will not use the program or may uninstall it if the user experience or user interface is tedious or outdated. This remark is crucial, as in today's lecture we'll be addressing the many ways of styling an application and therefore making it more user-friendly. We'll be looking at simple ways of styling an app, so it will be enough for now, and further on, as you improve, you'll be able to look into more advanced styling options. If pure styling is covered, the new lecture will become too long and tiresome. Thus, let's study some logic and styling. The primary idea at the moment is how to build a simple app with a simple interface. On a more advanced level, advanced topics will be explored, but for beginners, fundamental ideas are more than sufficient. Okay. As you can see, the component is already generated in the application. Simple color, background color, and height are the only stylistic elements present in this component. The only styling related topics that has been discussed so far is different color options, heights, and breadths of elements. As you can see in front of you, the program has many generated components that operate in various ways. When a new piece of data, like Peter, is printed in an application, you have three options for styling: internal styling, inline styling, and external styling. You'll be using internal styling when styling an element that is used within a component. You can style simply without using any curly brackets if you want to use internal styling. Save the file using font size 50 for the time being. Now, if you launch the application, Peter will be printed at a larger size. To make the font larger, modify the font size option. Using a comma in curly brackets and the color gray, you can easily modify the color. Save the file for now, then open the application to see Peter printed in a larger gray color. Okay, now, because text styling and styling view operate in different ways, changing the background of basic text is not possible. Text is only used to display the elements. View is the entire div. You must go to text if you want to alter the backdrop. Okay, let's now examine how to employ both external and inline styling. For this example, you must work on the second component. Green is the second component, which is active in the background. So, go to the view tag and modify the view style component. Now, use inline CSS in this array. After placing a comma, add background color in curly brackets, and then choose the hot pink color if you want to use both internal and inline CSS. If you save the file right now, you'll notice that the background color has been changed from green to hot pink. Now, as you may have noticed, internal CSS is also used, although inline CSS is still functional. Okay, so inline styling will always function, basically. If you apply three different types of styling to a single component, inline CSS styling will be chosen first. If you do not use inline CSS, internal CSS will be used. And finally, CSS from an external file will be chosen. So, this is a straightforward explanation of how to use CSS. The creation of the external file and the discussion of how to include CSS in the external file will follow. Because the main app component and the two props components are handled in the app.js file, an external file will be used. Since everything gets modeled together, logic construction and style are also done in the same file. Okay, so everything will be created independently to avoid this problem. Alright, so when you work professionally, you must design individual components. Two components are constructed in the same way, simply for educational purposes here, as you can see in front of you. Cut. I'm gonna repeat this part. I'm not sure if we see it in front of us. Cut. Okay, so two components are constructed in the same way, simply for educational purposes in this case. However, you can construct components in the same location if you wish to create a little component in the same file. We've already covered how to use data and link up components. Therefore, the fundamentals of styling have been explained, and I really hope that you now have a good grasp of them. Okay, so the creation of external files will be covered in a future lecture, but for now, that's pretty much it. So without further ado, let's move on.